Hi guys, and welcome back to our How to Play 40k.
Yeah, by two idiots.
Yeah. Idiot one, idiot two. Yeah. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about etiquette and just how to sort of prepare and what to expect, and excuse me, just what to do really, how to sort of prepare and
it's more how we would go about it.
Yeah.
How we tend to walk into a game, and perhaps
how
what
we
you
prepare
might
ourselves,
talk about.
how we act at a table. That's what it is. Because we've all had instances in friendly games, or if you've been to an event where you've had moments where someone's got to you, someone's pushed your buttons, or you've tilted at a table. I know I've done it. You've probably done it.
Yeah, I've done it, but yeah, so it happens.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us, happens to the worst of us. It's just how you react to it. So we're going to talk about just what you want to prepare for and what you want to be looking for, really. We obviously all want to go into a game with the best intentions of being happy, bubbly, and allowing take-backs and allowing things just happen, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, so table etiquette, what do we mean by that is really the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's sort of how you conduct yourself. As we all know, this great hobby, you go to an event and you meet new people that are like-minded.
Yeah.
So you are meeting this person for the first time, and then you've got to spend the best part of 3 hours at a table with them.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's always good to try and get off on the right foot.
Yeah.
I think.
Gotcha.
So, you do your normal things you do when you meet a new person. You introduce yourself, don't you?
Yeah.
But it's then what it comes down to is, me personally, I'll ask a few questions when I first meet someone. So, it will be, great looking army, for example. Try and break the ice a little bit with them. Try and have a bit of a laugh, ask them how they've got on so far, if it's game 2 or 3 or whatever. Ask them if I had a good day, and then I will be quite open with my list. I will go, do you know my army? It's normally my first question. Like, do you know what my army does? Most of the time people will probably say no. Which is absolutely fine. And I'll say to them, well, do you want me to run you through the list? Like, I will talk you through what my army does. Now, I'm not saying you've got to give your opponent every piece of information that your army does.
No, you shouldn't be giving up your tactics. You shouldn't be giving up.
No, exactly. But
if there's a stratagem you have that is potentially a gotcha, or if it's got a...
100%. So that is one thing that I always will kind of tell people. I don't want to give them got you moments. I've had got you moments on me before, and it feels bad for everyone. It's never fun. So, as you say, like, there might be a stratagem that you just go, well, look, if you do this, I can then do this. Like Grey Knights, for example.
Yeah,
you move within 9 inches of me, and I'm just going to disappear. Well, if you don't tell your opponent that beforehand, and you watch them do it, when they probably didn't actually have to get that close, they probably weren't even going to charge. But they were just moving their models around, and you just go, oh, okay, bye. They're like, what? It's, but I remember playing Gareth.
It sets a tone.
I remember playing Gareth at Cross Swords, and he just went, are you sure you want to move that model? I went, no. Thank you.
Gareth was that with me.
Yeah. And I would be the same way, but then there's something else I always say to my opponent going into a game is, like, I do play with intent. Like, if you've got genuine intent that was going to happen, I'm quite happy for you to do it. Like, I don't have an issue with that.
So for playing with intent, for some people who don't know, is coming to an agreement with your opponent of, so if we set up our model so I can put my toe out of the ruin so I can get line of sight on something, my intent is that I can see this guy, do you agree? Or my intent is for me to be able to react to your movement, or be able to...
It'll be something to see, like, you deployed a unit in the back corner because you're going to do investigate signals.
Yes.
You forgot to say you're doing investigate signals.
But we all know that's why they're over there. That was the intent having no interact.
It was the intent of them being there. And you and I have always played that way. Most opponents would agree with that. And they normally are happy to play that way. So there is a little bit of back and forth with it. I have had some games where I've said that I'll play with intent. They're happy with that. They do something, I'll let them take it back, and then they do something, and then I do something, and they just go, you can't do that. I'm like, okay, cool, that's how this game's going to go. Got it.
So the etiquette goes out the window, and we will just go, no, not doing that.
And that's not me being a tryhard. That is just like, well, if that's how you want to play the game, then I will tighten up my game, and then we'll play the rest of this game the way you want to play it.
Treat others as you would like to be treated.
Yeah,
it's basic common decency on it. If I've shaken people's hands and go, we're going to have a great game. We're going to do this, and give someone a take back where they've, in our latest video against Chris, he meant to do something in his command phase and he didn't do it. So do it.
Yeah.
It has no bearing on the game. It might do, but he has every intention of doing that to make sure he gets the objective or make sure you score a points or whatever. So
exactly.
Yeah, we all know it's going to happen.
It's all just about being a decent human being, really. Yes. I mean, as you say, you go to an event, especially if it's your first event, you're not going to get everything right.
No.
We still make mistakes at the table. Yeah. It happens. Yeah. Everyone does, even the best players. So
because after 4 games, you're on game 5, your brain is frazzled.
Yeah, exactly.
You've done a lot of thinking over a weekend.
And, you've just spent like 6 to 9 hours gaming in day 1.
Yeah.
And you've not played that much Warhammer in one day before.
No.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But don't get too disheartened by it. Like, it will happen.
Yeah.
And then that is where the etiquette comes in from maybe a more experienced player.
Yeah.
To say, well, hang on a minute. It's okay. Let's go back a little bit.
Yeah.
And do what you need to do, and then we can carry on playing the game.
Yeah.
And I like to think that experienced tournament players would do that for new players.
Of course they would. Yeah.
But then even the same for me. Like, I've played a person who's been new at an event.
Yeah.
And then I've made mistakes in the game because actually I'm not thinking as hard. No, that's not me saying like, oh, I'm easily going to beat them. It's just a case of, I'm trying to make this a nice, fun game, and I'm making a mistake somewhere.
Yeah.
And then they've gone, well, no, it's okay, you can take it back. And so then that's where you get that camaraderie between you and your opponent.
Yeah. It is a game of toy soldiers. It's meant to be having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
You have fun by letting your opponent... You want your opponent to beat you at their best.
Yeah, 100%.
And by doing that, you want your opponent to play the best that they can. And if that means that if they've got into the shooting phase and they've forgotten to move a model...
Yeah, I mean, there is different...
If it's got to the end of the game and they've gone, I meant to do that... Sorry, the end of the turn, and they've forgotten to move a model to then do this and this and this. That's a big.
Yeah, I mean, I have had it before where, like, we've gone maybe 3 or 4 units of shot or whatever.
Yeah.
Things have died, and then they've gone, oh, I forgot to do this. And I'm like, there's no real way for us to come back from that now. Yeah. Like, we're too far ahead.
Yeah, I will absolutely try my best to make sure that person can then go back and do it. But if it's got to a stage where
sometimes it's just not possible.
No.
It's gone too far. Or like you say, you've gone from the shooting phase to the charge phase, and you've killed like 3 units in combat. And you've gone, oh, I forgot to shoot this model.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
like, really? Like,
half my army's dead already. Leave it. It's fine.
Exactly. Yeah. So it does happen. But yeah, so for me, I say, one, I would always make sure that I don't give my opponent any got your moments.
Yes.
So I will run them through the list.
Yes.
And I'll say, look, this guy does this. And you probably do it anyway, even with your mates. Like, you'll sit at the table before the game and you'll go, oh yeah, I've got this great new character, he's got this enhancement, this unit does this.
Because you want to brag about your models, you want to brag about
exactly.
What they can do.
And it's a very similar mindset of just saying, like, this does that, this does that. You don't need to tell them if you're going to be deep striking them and stuff yet, or the whole point of this unit is to just move to the middle of the board and you just watch you try and kill it.
Yeah.
You don't need to give them that much information. But you say, letting them know what the models are and what they do, and potentially maybe 1 or 2 stratagems which might really be a hurtful moment in the game.
Knowing about Phantasm for Eldar.
Yeah.
Knowing about the Rangers have got the ability, if you move within 9 of them, they can D6 move.
Yeah.
That changes games.
And I know some people out there would be like, well, you should just know every army. No one knows every army.
Not many people have faced Yukari.
Yeah, exactly.
Even went back in the 9th edition when they were potent. Going into 10th edition, not everyone has faced Yukari.
Yeah. So it's like myself, like, I have to admit, I don't remember the last time I played against Admech.
No.
Or Guard.
I've not faced Admech in this edition.
Exactly. So, and I've not really played against Guard recently either.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I actually don't know much about these armies right now. Although I am kind of tempted to try Admech out soon just for fun.
God.
It's a way of learning the army, isn't it? Like,
sure.
I can find out what they can do. So, come on, they're bottom of the meta. It's fine. So yeah, it's very much a simple case of knowing the terrain, knowing your opponent, and just being a nice person really throughout the game.
Yeah.
Sam and I tend to give dice away and.
Yes,
stickers.
I love doing that. I love meeting.
And that isn't people. Like a try-hard thing of saying, oh, be my friend. That's just like, it's something we just do.
It's setting the tone of what the game's going to be like. We're going to have a fun game. Here's a dice. If it rolls a 6 against me, I get to keep it. Because that's happened far too bloody often. It's like they've rolled for the first turn and rolled a 6 on my dice. I'm like, Give it. That's a 1.
Fair.
Clearly, the power is transferred, but it's we want to have a fun, balanced game. Balanced is a strong term in 10th edition, but we want to have a fun game.
Yeah,
and that's what it comes down to. So the etiquette of that is we want fun. We want to have a enjoyable time, because 3 hours with a stranger is quite a scary. Depending on if it doesn't go well that first meeting.
Yeah.
If someone's not giving. We're mirrors. Like we'll give people the same energy that we get back, and if we don't get that energy back, it's a case of you can go quite flat.
Yeah,
you can become quite guarded.
Yeah, and that's not your opponent's fault.
No,
and that might be how they play 40k.
Yes,
I've had opponents where they don't really talk. You know? And that's fine.
Yeah.
But I will end up mirroring that.
Yeah, and
then like I had it at Cross Swords not so long ago against an opponent, and Corda and Ant came up to me after the game, and they're like, "Were you okay?" Because they know what I'm like at events.
Yeah.
Like, I'm quite brash. I'm quite chatty with everyone. And I don't agree with this, but I do end up doing it. Is like I'll be playing someone, and then I end up chatting to people around me. It's actually really rude and bad etiquette from my side, but it's just a habit of just being social.
You're a social, you're a social.
Yeah, person. And so I can do that. Like I can talk to someone whilst it's like, keep shooting me, it's fine.
Yeah. Just tell me what I need to roll. Yeah, it's fine.
But that's a bad edge on me. I mean, most opponents don't seem to be bothered by it. It's fine, but that's not ideal. But I'm not giving them my full attention.
Yeah.
But after that particular game, I was like, well, no, I was fine. It's just they were very quiet. So I tried cracking a few jokes. It didn't go anywhere. So we just played 40k. I said, it's still a great opponent.
Yeah.
No issues with the game. I just wasn't my normal self because I couldn't be.
You still gave the respect, which is what etiquette boils down to.
Plenty of respect. Yeah, it was just one of those sort of games,
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually spoken about my bad turn of etiquette against David Porter at Curtin a few months ago in one of my tournament reports, and I tilted badly because I just didn't read the cards.
Yeah,
and it was a case of and I got in my own head and got wound up for no reason at all. I could have won the game by doing something else. Yeah. It's just a case I didn't read the card, and I took the frustration out on the wrong person.
Opponent. Yeah, and that's not how we do things.
I wouldn't say I lashed out or I did anything like that. I just became very grumpy and miserable, and I stormed off for a few minutes, but I didn't storm off. I had to go away and calm down. It was just like I had to talk to myself and just go, this is a game. If I'd have done this, the outcome would have been different. It's just I was relying on something.
Well, that comes back to our last episode about
exactly. Read the cards. Yeah, it's a nice little nice little tie. But yeah, it just comes down to controlling yourself. Just having it's a game.
Yeah,
we all get invested in it. We have spent a lot of money. We have spent
a lot of time and hobby, and and of course we all want to win, but you can't.
Not at the expense of your opponent's enjoyment.
No, not at all. Because they've done exactly the same as you. They have paid their money to be there. They've spent their time in their hobby.
Yeah.
And they want to be there just as much as you do. And making someone else's experience miserable is just not fair, is it? Really?
Because at that event, you're going to see majority of people bringing meta lists or strong lists. There are going to be people that go to events who just want to run their fluffy 5th Brigades.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it before where they go like, I like salamanders, so I've got a full flamer army. And it's just like, great.
Cool.
Love that for you.
That's what they love to do. It's like, fine. That would be the kind of person you want to face and just go, oh, that's going to be a great game.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Yeah, have a great time.
Yeah,
but that's the kind of thing we want to have in every game is have that experience of fine. That was a horrible list, but we had a great game because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, but don't forget, like don't tar people with a bad brush from one game.
No,
this hobby is very quick to jump onto people. That
you're running Eldar, you must be a horrible person.
Well, it's not even
majority of them are.
It's not even just the list. It's it's sometimes like. Like you say, we've both had it where we've had bad games and we've behaved badly.
Yeah.
But it's happened at like higher levels as well, where someone's had a bad game and then it's just like ripped through the community that this person's awful and
with the way the internet is. Yeah.
That's not always true. Like you got to remember, people still have real lives to live at home and stuff, and not everyone's always on that level of being present for the games. You don't know what's happened.
Yeah.
I knew someone that literally broke up with their partner over a gaming weekend and still managed to play out the weekend. So, You know, it's you don't know what's going on in people's lives, so don't always take that first game as a bad. You know, if it is a bad experience, don't think that next time it's going to be just as bad.
Yeah. On
the flip side, there are some people that are just like that, but by the by, that's not what we're here to preach. It's
no, that is a very small amount of people that are like that.
But what I'm saying is, like, try and almost just brush it off. Don't let it take too much out of your day.
99% of our games against other people, even the ones that we've had issues with, have been fantastic games. They've been fantastic people. And at 1%, you just go, cool, it was a bad day.
Yeah, exactly. And just like anything, you just sort of got to just brush it off and move on.
Yeah.
And if you've got another game to play, then start again. Start fresh. New opponent. New opportunity.
If something happens to you during a game, you've got to talk to a TO. That's a thing that's the hardest for a lot of people, because you don't want to be seen as that person for calling over a TO. If you don't think something is right, ask for the rules, and if they won't give the rules, or you've got the rules and they've not played it right, get a TO involved. Yeah. That is their job.
That was a big thing. I don't know about yourself, but for me, when I first started going to events,
I was too afraid to call over TO because I did not want to be labelled.
Not too afraid, but it was almost like you just didn't want to question stuff from people.
Because people can be very defensive. Well, you don't trust me.
Yeah, that's not the case.
Of course I do. Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, no.
Don't be afraid to question people. Like, if you're a new player to events, don't ever be afraid to ask your opponent what that does.
Yeah.
So if something doesn't feel right, or you're not sure, it's never a problem to ask. Like, I've always said this to my opponents: like, if you're unsure about something, ask me, and I'm happy to show you. Like, it's not an issue.
With the way the app is at the moment, especially at the start of 10th edition, it was really good because you just had the app on your phone. You could pull up every single data sheet and just go, cool.
I mean, it's quite funny because I've had a lot of opponents when I was running the Knights quite a lot, where I was using the melter.
Yeah.
And like they're like, well, you're like 20 inches away. It's 18 inches on melters, not on the Chaos ones. Like Chaos Knights are 24. So I'll then go, look, 24-inch range.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Like, and they're happy. And that's all it takes. As you say, like sometimes that doesn't happen.
No.
And they will get either defensive or they go, I'll read you the rules. But they don't actually show you it.
Yeah.
So then you don't ever be afraid to go, can I get a TO over? Don't even have to ask your opponent. You can literally just leave the table and go and find one. Or put your hand up and find one.
Yeah.
And they will come over.
Because it comes down to line of sight on a lot that happen in games with line of sight. From my point of view, I can see, my model can clearly see or can see a part of your model over there. And they can turn around and go, well, I don't think so. From my point of view, I can't see. Cool. Get a TO. TO comes over and just goes, from what I can, literally, it was at Curtin again. Rob came over and spent a good minute or two trying to check every single angle and just went, my model can see this model. Cool. Happy days.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
Exactly. And that doesn't necessarily mean then the game then is going to go south because you called a TO over.
No.
I mean, I can't speak for the other person, but for me, I'll be like, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a problem. Well, it's not a problem, but we've had like an alteration. We fixed it.
Yeah.
Now we move on and carry on as we were.
But if it goes back to, that can go back to the intent purposes. My intent was for my model not to be seen. Cool. Then that's where you just go, fine.
Yeah.
We can. I was happy to do that. Yeah. Because they might not have been aware that I could have moved the extra inch. They might have based my movement off of a standard Space Marine movement of 6 inches or
Definitely,
something.
yeah. So that's the other aspect of going, well, okay, if your intent was for me to be able to see him, are you happy if I move him to somewhere else?
Yes.
Because I had the extra movement, or I would have gone a different direction.
Yeah.
So that's where that comes back and forth with intent.
Yeah.
Because I've had it before where like I've said, oh, I probably potentially not that model, it's not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And he's gone, well, I thought I could see it. And I've gone, well, then move it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like if you feel like you would have done something different,
yes,
do it.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
And okay, we've gone from the movement phase now to the shooting phase.
Yeah.
But as long as we're not
set up your whole movement phase based off of this.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you need to change that, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
And I've had that happen, not many times, but it has happened.
Yeah.
And the same the other way around. Like I've gone to shoot something, they've gone, well, no, my intent wasn't to be able to see that. Fine.
Yeah.
Like, are you happy for me to move stuff the other way?
Yeah.
And most of the time, I don't think actually I've ever had an issue with that happening.
No.
So yeah, I think all in all, it's a funny game. There is a lot of rules.
Yes. Yeah. You're not going to know.
Not everyone's going to get it right all the time,
No.
even the top players.
No.
As
long as you can do your best with your army and learn your rules to the best of your ability,
100%.
And then you expect your opponent to be able to do the same.
Yeah, and I don't expect you to turn up with a smile and a quick wit to every game.
No.
Like, that's not how it works. But just having that common decency to your opponent like you would do in any other social situation, really.
Yes. Yeah.
And just don't be a dick.
That's the biggest rule, isn't it? Yeah.
I think that's just what it comes down to, isn't it? Just don't be a dick, really.
Yeah.
Like you say, Sam and I have both had bad experiences. We've also been the cause of potential bad experiences for people.
Yeah.
I mean, the nice thing is, on the whole, like I've never had anyone come. I've played people again after potentially a bad game, and then we've had a great game.
Yeah.
So I like to think that actually whatever problem there was resolved or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, there's been no backlash afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, just enjoy yourselves.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? Really. Yeah. So thank you, guys.
Yes.
Don't forget.
A shorter one.
It was a short one, and I'm happy with that.
It's concise. It's short and concise. That's odd for us.
Yeah, there's no rambling at all.
No, I mean, there was a little bit.
But guys, don't forget, you've got about a week left for Terrain Forge giveaway. So make sure you get on the socials and sign yourself up for that. Glasshammer. Don't forget about Glasshammer. Obviously, you get that beautiful 20% off anyway.
Yes.
And then you get an additional 5% off with the code BlackRow. Just stick that in at your checkout.
You're probably sick of us here talking about it now, but we're going to talk about it because we're very, very happy. We're proud to be sponsored by Glasshammer. They're great people.
We are.
Manny and Dan are fantastic. David's brilliant.
Exactly.
Yeah, great bunch.
So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next week. Yes. Be another battle report. I don't know what that is yet. We'll figure it out.
It'll appear. We'll
Cheers, guys. See you later.